With us on this Wednesday afternoon. Great to be with you from the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club at Pearl River Resort. We're on the back corner of the porch. I was just observing a few moments ago that it is slightly warmer on the 1st of September than it was the 1st of April when we were here. Should I let people in on the gig or no?
No, especially now.
It's an audio medium, Hadad. You could talk as opposed. I mean, hand signals are doing nothing except for the people that are watching on Super Talk TV. Oh, you're not even a ventriloquist.
Sign language is something I'd love to learn, though.
Yes, we do realize that in the last segment you were hearing a bit of static. So Hadad managed to overheat the board with his takes or his loud mouth or something. And as a result, it's having to cool off, and we're hoping to get him back at some point. In the meantime, it's almost like he's a mime. You are a New Orleans guy. All right, Borky, the comments from the Packers about the Saints playing in Jacksonville. And, oh, by the way, the Saints and the Packers are Week 1 opponents. The simplest solution would have been to just play the game in Green Bay.
Would that have been the simplest solution? Probably so. But it was a home game for the Saints, and they were not going to play it in Green Bay. Well, the general manager of the Packers, the guy that, has it out for his quarterback and has really upset his quarterback, his Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback over the years, said this. I don't think we had a whole lot of say in that. I would have loved to have it here, though. That would have been nice. And people are kind of freaking out about it.
Why? There's nothing controversial about what he said.
Because the game is only being displaced because thousands upon thousands of people have lost their homes and livelihood. That's why. Would love to have the game here. Well, yeah, people in New Orleans would love to have power right now and running water, and people west of New Orleans would love to have their homes and all that stuff, and emergency workers would rather be standing guard at the gates of a football stadium as opposed to making sure looters don't break into people's homes and stuff like that. I mean, that's where it's coming from. It's a read-the-room guy situation. Of course.
See, I think the only person this affects and has that reaction is somebody that's a Saints fan. I mean this genuinely. Yeah. I think because you are a Saints fan, you take that differently than somebody who's just casual and hears what he says, and that's fine. Because obviously Saints fans are going to have their opinions and feel how they feel about whatever it is that he said. Like I hear, you got the direct quote there again?
Yeah, I don't think we had a whole lot of say. I would have loved to have it here, though. That would have been nice.
So, again,
it's not your game to have. It was a road game for you.
I understand that.
Wasn't your game to have.
But if it's got to be played at some random spot, he's like, we've got a stadium that just as well could be used as
it would have been really nice to have a home field advantage that you weren't supposed to have because a Category 4 hurricane displaced a bunch of people and ruined a better portion of an entire state.
I think the guy's just being matter of fact. He's like, we didn't have a say-so in this. I'm sure he was asked by some Packers media, hey, what was the deal? Were you willing to host the game? And he's like, we didn't really have a say in it. Sure, we would have loved to have hosted it here, but, yeah, that'd have been nice.
Yeah, and it's not your game to have. So,
I get it. Try to take your fleur-de-lis off just for a second and say, does it – do you think that's why you're reacting that way?
No, because you've got wildfires in the West right now, right? And if the 49ers get displaced and they're supposed to have a home game and they're supposed to play the Broncos – and John Elway said, well, I didn't have a say, but it would have been nice if we could have played the game here, and they chose to play it in Arizona instead. I would have thought Elway was in the wrong there, too.
I guess my thought is if I'm a reporter and I ask John Elway in a press conference setting, hey, did you guys have any conversations about possibly just playing the game in Denver?
It's just very easy to say. And his response
is, look, we didn't really have any say in that. Yeah, sure, we would have been willing to host it. That would have been nice, but –
or you can say, we'll play anywhere. We're just happy the game's going to get played, and we're thinking about people who lost their homes and don't have running water or plumbing or food or,
Are we sure that he didn't say any of those things?
He didn't. Nothing like that. It was a very short quote. It was during a Q&A. So.
Gotcha. Well, that is...
It's not a big deal. It's just, come on, guy. You know? Like, it's not the end of the world. He shouldn't get fired or fined or anything like that. Most people will probably brush it off the second it happens. But if I was in his position and I'm supposed to play a team that can't play in their home stadium because it does not have power or running water right now, my reaction would not have been, well, it would have been nice to play it at our place. Just, yeah, we'll play anywhere. It's what we're built for. I don't know. Different approaches for different people, I guess.
Yeah. Going back to the Texas A&M Jimbo Ross Bjork conversation, Donald says, I'm calling it a Texas A&M flex. A flex toward Texas. Crazy.
Do you think that's a factor? Do you think Texas at all, they're existent, whatever it may be, joining the SEC, whatever, because I saw a few people suggest that. Do you buy that in any way that this is any kind of response to Texas?
No. I mean, maybe everything that Texas A&M does is somehow related to trying to gig them. See what I did there? But no, I mean, what's Sark making at Texas? $5 million, $6 million, it's a 6-year, $34.2 million contract. I mean, Texas A&M can already laugh at that all they want to. $34 million over 6 years? Get a load of the $75 million we're paying, and we hadn't even redone his deal yet. I mean, so I feel like they already kind of had the financial high ground in the conversation.
Just feels like everything they've done since that announcement at SEC Media Days has come from a position of weakness, which doesn't make sense. Everything Ross Bjork said, and I know, a lot of people think he's a really dumb guy, and I kind of ripped on his negotiating tactics because Matt Luke's contract was an abomination.
Kind of.
But, yeah.
You didn't kind of rip on him.
He's his own worst enemy. But he said the things he did because he has to say the things he did, because of who he's servicing, which is Texas A&M people. But how, since then, and everything that came after that, we want to be the only SEC team from Texas, and we were promised that, and all this stuff that they've done, and now this reactionary, over-the-top, unnecessary contract in the moment, it feels like they're doing everything lately from a position of weakness, which doesn't make sense because they should be one of the most powerful entities in college athletics. They have so much money, and they are in a state that is as talent-rich as any state in America. So why do they seem like such wussies, I don't get it. It's crazy. They should be the most powerful program in the country, and they're not even close.
It's because they're not the most powerful program in their own state, and they never have been. And they know that. They don't want to admit it. They want to tell you how those tea sippers down in Austin that, are trying to stay weird and whatever else. I don't know anything. But even if A&M doesn't want to be that, they want to be thought of the way Texas is thought of. Now, it's really
they can be. That's
it's
the thing.
fun and it's convenient for people to pile on Texas while they're down, and they have been for a while now. And obviously A&M's getting their jollies out of that happening. But I think they're more interested in laughing at Texas for being down than doing what you're talking about. Than absolutely stepping on Texas's face with a hobnailed boot and breaking their nose and crushing their spirit.
And they're on the cusp of that in football right now.
Yeah.
They're there. If they played each other this season, Texas A&M would win by, 3 scores? 17 points, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal?
Maybe. I need to see a little bit more from A&M's offense before I'm fully on board with that.
Replacing a bunch of guys up front. But still, I am flabbergasted that somebody with this much power. It's like my dog. He's not a very big dog. He's a 40-pound dog, but is terrified of the cat. If he wanted to, he could wreck the cat. just wreck him. I mean, he's as fast as him, obviously stronger.
We got a wreck him and a sick him reference.
But if the cat puts his shoulders up, Maverick's terrified of him.
Is this the dog with 3 legs?
No, that's June.
He could probably whip the cat also.
She's a little clumsy. But the point is, that's what this feels like here with Texas A&M. Like, they're the dog and everybody else is the cat.
Is it a dog named Reveille, by chance?
Well, we got to make sure Jimbo and Reveille have a good relationship. So.
Sports Talk Mississippi, streaming at supertalk.fm.